Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Today I want to talk about something very simple. You see all these dots here on the screen? The red dots and the blue dots. These are mass population detention centers in the United States of America. And currently they are being used by ICE, which is a kind of like a federal organization that deals with immigration. So these are like basically former Walmarts of the past that the US government and Walmart have been using together to open up basically concentration camps kind of places, as you'll see in a second, to deport people to work against basically minorities. Now, why is this important? This is important because it's strange how we understand in our world how we have the right to somehow dictate human rights and dictate morality, dictate issues of justice, and even issues around democracy, supposedly, that when you yourself are doing things that are just so horrendous. And so here, let's listen to what is being said here for a second.
Preparing to vote on two major bills next week as debate rages over the administration's policy of separating families who cross the border illegally. Our chief national affairs correspondent, Tom Yamas, he's near the border in Brownsville, Texas, at the country's largest licensed shelter housing undocumented immigrant children. Good morning, Tom.
Michael, good morning to you. That shelter is just behind me. If it looks like a Walmart, that's because that's what it used to be. It now houses boys from the ages of 10 to 17 years old. They spend 22 hours a day inside of that facility. And for the first time, we were part of a small group of journalists allowed inside. What we saw, they are nearing capacity, and space is now running out.
What do you want? Justice! When? Now!
Several House Democrats joined protesters outside the Customs and Border Patrol headquarters, demanding an end to the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy, which has led to families being separated at the border.
That's not right. That's not fair. We have to say something. We have to do something.
Even one of the president's biggest supporters breaking with him, evangelist Franklin Graham.
I think it's disgraceful. It's terrible to see families ripped apart, and I don't support that one bit.
And overnight, ABC News learning a change could be coming. House Republicans set to put two immigration bills to a vote, dealing with border security, the wall, and a possible path for dreamers, but also a provision prohibiting the separation of children and parents at the border.
And so many people have been asking what happens to those children once they're separated from their parents. Well, they're brought here to a facility where they're taken care of by the federal government. This is as far as our cameras are allowed to go. You can see it says keep out private property. And this facility is so big, it used to be a Walmart supercenter.
And this is what it looks like inside. This footage shot by the Department of Health and Human Services during a tour we took of the facility. This mega shelter is nearly at capacity, close to 1,500 boys, 10 to 17 years old. Since May, nearly 700 children have been separated from their parents. At this facility in Brownsville, children are allowed 2 calls a week and are allowed outside only 2 hours a day.
From what we could see, for the most part, the shelter is well staffed. The children are taken care of. There are a lot of activities to keep them occupied during the day. But one can only imagine, Robin, what it is like at night when they are alone in this strange facility away from their parents. The average length of stay now at facilities just like this across the country is 52 days.
Now, to the immigration.
This is what happens when you think the land, the earth belongs to you instead of to God. You see, you start acting like God, and you start saying, oh, you can't come here, and you can't go there, and this is our land, and that is your land, and this is my land, and I will act like God on my land. The whole earth belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the first point. Second, You know, when Quran mentioned بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ, for what reason do you kill this child girl? We all know this. The Makki Quran very, very strongly, and one day I'll talk about this in more detail, but I'm only mentioning this here. The Makki Quran very strongly established moral grounds that were universal. The universal suffering that was there on humanity because Islam was not there. And today is the same situation. That even the highest quote-unquote priests of the world, the highest implementers of justice in the world, are themselves blind and lost and really don't know what they're doing. And so these concentration camps, are the nationwide Walmart closures connected to detention centers for American citizens? ? And today they're using them on the Mexican community, which is one of the most hardest working communities in this country. They have a very, very good work ethic in the U.S. Okay. Mainstream media confirms that Walmart stores are being turned into detention camps. More than 900 migrant children have been separated from their families over the past year. Immigration detention conditions. Despite the explosive growth in immigration detention in recent years, there are no regulations or enforceable standards regarding detention conditions, including medical treatment, mental health care, religious services, transfers, access to telephones, which you heard, two a week, free legal services, library materials. In fact, the vast majority of detainees never receive legal representation. Okay. It's a very sad situation. Living conditions in immigration detention centers are horrible, horrible. You know, just horrible. I'll show you the pictures in just a little bit. A surprise inspection of an ICE detention center reveals horrific conditions. Okay? Federal investigators found significant threats to detainees' health and safety. Okay? Including sexual assaults, just everything bad you can imagine in terms of treatment, the rights, and so on and so forth. Okay, not being given proper clothing according to the weather, and so on and so forth. In recent years, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has detained and deported record numbers of people from the United States. Many of ICE's removal tactics take away even the right to a fair hearing in court, as the government rushes to judgment and tries to ram people through the rubber stamp system that ignores individual circumstances. Some people come from Mexico because they're running away because they are under threat from gangs. Some people are coming across the border because this is where their parents are. And so anyway, there's a lot of sad circumstances. And so
images from one Nashville neighborhood where ICE had arrived, neighbors then forming a human chain to try to protect a father, his young son right there. This lasted for hours. And here's ABC's Steve Osinsami now.
What you're looking at is neighbors working together to keep ICE out and protect residents who feel afraid in their own homes. Near Nashville, they formed this human chain, successfully blocking 2 ICE agents from taking away a father who's lived here for the last 14 years. He and his son were hiding inside the white van.
More than half the people who showed up were just neighbors who wanted to help their own neighbor out.
Similar scenes are playing out in cities across the country. This family in Kansas City was broadcasting live on Facebook as ICE agents broke through the car window.
I told him not to refuse because I didn't want them to shoot him in front of my kids.
While federal immigration agents try to take suspected undocumented immigrants into custody, there are bystanders protesting and recording the drama on their cell phones. Here it was a mother of 2 detained by ICE agents in Los Angeles. One point that's being underlined tonight, the number of removal orders carried out by the current.
So that should make the point pretty clear. Undocumented man, his girlfriend says they never saw a warrant. They kept asking for a warrant. Can you show us the papers? Can you show us that you're supposed to be here? Never did that. These are the places where, like for example, areas of Texas, Arizona, California, where in the detention centers there have been more reports of sexual abuse compared to the orange is only 1 to 15, and the red is 16 and more reports of sexual abuse. Okay. These are the Walmarts that have been changed into detention centers. Here's some pictures of the detention centers. This is no different than concentration camps, really. So what happens when a country starts doing this and then starts telling others to behave in a moral way? So something to think about. These are all the detention centers by state, and this is the U.S. federal government ICE website where you can go in and put in the name of the state, and it'll give you so in, for example, Illinois, you have Jefferson County Justice Center and McCarthy County Adult Correctional Facility, Pulaski County Detention Center, and so they have 3 of these in Illinois that they have on their website, and so they have detention centers for mass amounts of people. And obviously, once you start going in that direction, what the future holds, only Allah knows, and what Shaitan is doing, only Allah knows. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and all even American citizens from this type of injustice. And this is why the U.S. really needs Islam. Really needs Islam.
Sure.
I get 1 practice shot.
Okay.
I haven't done this in a while. Okay.
Brings it.
You cannot. But when I was in high school, I used to do 3-pointers. So let's have to do this time.
Wait, Shane, where'd you go for high school?
Can you please stop?
10:51.
Greens it from half court.
Okay, that's my practice shot.
Okay, the 4.
You're bad. This is it.
Oh,
this is it. That's him. I'm on the first level.
Yeah.
You cannot pass it. No, I'm on 12%.
Will I get it second time in a row?
Sure. You might. No. I didn't think you could play basketball. You can use a sharpshooter. Sharpshooter there.
What? Huh?
Even I can't do it in half. Oh my god! I get like 100.
Shoot from there. Oh, okay, that's fine.
If you make this, you gotta do full court. Come here.
Full court. Ooh, chill him. Cash money.
Why do you take my phone?
Alright.
I'm at 9. Look. Have you beat 12%?
Yep. That's it.
I don't know.
Yep, he said yep. Yep.
Make sure to subscribe today, and make sure you like, and make sure you leave your comments and ideas. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
أشهد أن لا